But okay, so we're gonna back up now, and I'm gonna walk you through the process from words on the page, the script, to the execution. Now we're gonna back up the time a little bit. So I'm gonna read through the scene. Can I have 3 volunteers? Okay, can I have a volunteer to be Laura Ingalls? Laura Ingalls? Laura Ingalls? Good Eagle. Okay, good.
Good Eagle?
Good Eagle, yeah. And then someone read action. Okay, you can read the action. So we're gonna do this first scene here, and then when I let you know. So you can read everything that is an action line here. Anything that is assigned to Good Eagle, you can read it. Laura, you can read it, so on and so forth. And so the setup for this scene is that it's Laura's birthday, and Good Eagle, her Osage best friend, has set up a treasure hunt around town. And Laura has discovered what she thought was a very special gift, which are these little round Osage stones, and she's collected them for her. And at the end of the scene, Good Eagle, the best friend, has an unexpected reaction to these stones that have been gifted to her. Now we're not sure exactly what that is yet. So that's where we're kind of coming from into the scene. We're going to go through the scene, we're going to break it down, and I'll show you where we're going. So with that in mind, we will do action on action.
Good Eagle pushes aside an old stump. She pulls out a burlap pouch, feeling its weight heavy. Its contents rattle around.
How much candy is in here?
Open it.
Good Eagle sets the pouch on the stump, unties the string, and reveals colorful pebbles, dozens of beautiful stones. Laura beams, proud of her gift.
Whenever we play at the creek, I see you picking up the pebbles. You like the round, bright ones. So after the snow melted, I started looking for the prettiest pebbles and saving them for you.
Good Eagle stands there quietly, staring at the stones.
You don't like them?
I do.
But it doesn't seem like she does.
There's another treasure, a better treasure. We can get that one.
Laura picks up the map, pointing.
Let's go somewhere else first.
Good Eagle starts walking. Laura follows.
Great. Jump back. Y'all are hired. Okay, so now we haven't shot anything. So now, as a director, your job is to go in and begin this process of translating words on a page into shots, performances, and so on and so forth, right? So, with that in mind, I'll walk you through kind of how, for myself, one of the ways that I like to break things down is to create what I call an overhead. It's a map. Think of like a bird's eye view of a scene, right? So I'll cheat a little bit. I'll give you guys a little bit of context of what the scene looks like, just so we're not starting from scratch, right? So for this, we're coming. The scene before this is the general store. And the last time that we saw Laura and Good Eagle, they were inside on the steps. And there is a back door to this place. So picture this as if you're directly overhead looking down, right? And in the scene, our town is set up basically like this. This is kind of the main street. There's a, in the scene that you'll see, it's scripted that there's a stump. Now, as we were preparing for the scene, the stump became a little unwieldy, it became kind of difficult to manage, and for various reasons, we had to shoot in a specific location where there was a barrel. So I'm replacing the stump, or we're going to replace the stump with a barrel, which is located here. And so what I'm going to do is break down the scene, and I'm going to have my actors move through this space, which is called, this is called blocking. And when you block a scene, it's, as a director, it's how you decide how can an actor move through a space. What is the story being told? What is the emotion being conveyed? And how can that be expressed through movement? This is subjective to change, but for myself, I like to create as detailed a plan going in as possible. Once I get there, what's called on the day, when we start shooting, Ligo may have an excellent idea, Jessica may have an excellent idea of how, like, well, I think my character might move this way, or my character might do this at this point. And then you incorporate those into how you work, right? So, I think this is the butcher, maybe? And I think this is the water. So you have a general store, you have a butcher, a barber shop. I believe these are right. There's a fence here. I think there's an outhouse here. And so in the scene, Good Eagle pushes aside an old stump. She pulls out a burlap sack, pushes his weight until it's heavy. So I know that Laura and Good Eagle are coming from the general store, and I need them to get to this barrel. So I'm going to create a path for them to come across. I'm going to hide our little bag of stones, and I'm going to have so when I'm breaking down like my overheads and my floor plans, I'll create like a little overhead of a person, and I'll put their first name. So for example, Good Eagle's a G, and I'll put, those are like her feet to show like which direction she's facing. I'm sure there's better ways to do this. This is what works for me. So we have, I need to get Good Eagle and Laura from the general store to this barrel, so I'll have them run across, and then Good Eagle will be followed by Laura. Run across. And they can land here in the barrel, right? So what's probably the first camera shot that we want in this scene?
A wide shot.
A wide shot, right? And that's because we want to
Establish a scene.
exactly. So now that we have a basic understanding, we know there's a fence, we know there's the backs of a couple stores, and we know where our actors are going to land. I want to look for a shot that is wide and it shows off where the space is. So there's a number of ways I could do it. I could put a camera here. I could put a camera here. I could technically put it here, but there's a fence which is going to block a lot of the action. I couldn't necessarily put a camera here because it's going to be obstructed. It's going to block a lot of the view, right? But I could also put a camera here because it gives me another way of showing the two actors, right? So, in this case, someone shout out where Master could go.
Right there. In the
Right here?
center, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do my master. And I'll call this my master. I'll call this shot one. This way. Okay, so now we have our master. And I'm gonna be selfish and I'm gonna add a second called a submaster. I'm gonna put it here. There's this little alley here. And because I have a camera here, I can also sneak another one here because it'll be hidden. And it gives me kind of a 2-for-1. I've got this. We can call this a sub master. Okay, so what are our next shots that we need?
Coverage.
Coverage, great. So if we have our 2 actors both here, how many coverage shots do we want?
2.
2, exactly. So we want a coverage shot on Laura, we want a coverage shot on Good Eagle.
2 actors.
So I'll call this Good Eagle coverage. Apologies for my handwriting. I'll call this Laura coverage. And these are my versions of, you see the camera, right? You see like the lens thing. What's our third type of shot that we need?
Insert.
Insert, great. And so if we scroll through the scene, we have Good Eagle pulls out a burlap pouch, feels its weight. That could be one insert. Good Eagle sets the pouch on the stump using a string and reveals some colorful pebbles. That's another insert, right? She stares at the stones. Laura picks up the map. Good Eagle says, let's go somewhere else first. Good Eagle says, okay. So, if they pick up, if I'm blocking, I have Good Eagle pick up this pouch and empty the contents of the barrel, where would we want our insert shot to be?
By the barrel.
By the barrel. And we want something close on the barrel to see these little stones. Okay.
Further questions.
Please.
In terms of those inserts, depending on who it's coming from, do you want it to be in and around the POV, like in a POV range of that person, or can you kind of play with that a little bit?
Yeah,
sometimes?
that's an excellent question. And so where you place the camera can help tell the story you want, right? So for example, let's say Jessica's getting a text message, right? And there's a number of places where I can put that answer. There's 2 of us, and I'm hitting, right? And so there's a number of places where we can put the insert where we want to say it right, but let's say she's getting a very important text from AMC, and that's important information, but I don't know that. So one place I can put the insert, I can put the insert here, right? I can put it here, but I can't see it. But if it's important to the story for the audience to see what the text message is, I can come in right here, and this is where I want to put my camera. So that's an excellent question. Where you place the camera for insert can tell the story. In this case, I chose a kind of a neutral angle. That it can be used for both Good Eagle or Laura. We'll see in the scene. I might be wrong where we're actually put this, but we'll see. But if we want to, so good.
Does lens choices also matter?
Yeah. Yes, lens choices are very important. Generally speaking, wider angle lens you would use for your master because you can show more real estate and scene. Longer lenses for coverage, and then probably something on a longer lens as well too for the insert. Now, if you're going to do something like super like granular, like see like text on a newspaper, you might use something like a touch lens or like a macro lens that gets you super close. Then you can like use a super long lens. But generally, wide angle lenses for the master, longer lenses for coverage, and then even longer lenses for insert. As general, there's exceptions to all that as well too. But
Have you ever used an anamorphic lens?
yeah. Yes. I